Oh, how we doing, everybody? I remember when I first started talking on here. It was a couple years ago when I got hooked up with the Rios. Started building for them. I'm trying to start to put out, and I was sitting and watch the sunrise, and it'd be dark. You wouldn't be able to really see me, but hear me. Here we have a few years later. Totally changed world and experiences. So blessed and so fortunate to still be with the Rios, getting back with the Rios after all my shit leaving and pursuing comedy down in Austin. I forget, was that last year? I think I came back. This past fall. Everything's getting all blurred together. Um, the reason why I wanted to come on here and talk this time, my buddy Eric, very important guy. I gotta do a video where I talk about friendships and what people like himself and others mean to me. Particularly him. It's not easy to crack this egg open. I know I come on here, I talk freely, but you'll never get the full scope from any of this until you sit down with me and you're willing to listen and talk and have long conversations and about whatever is on our mind. You really won't get the angle that Eric's gotten of me, and I'm truly blessed and fortunate to have that man in my life. Just a great man, and has helped me out a lot since I met him. And he stays in touch, and he wouldn't quit on me opening up to him and allowing him to be part of my life, which gets me to, again, I mean, at the beginning of all this, I was so pissed off and angry at everybody as I felt like not only did I let everybody down, especially my wife and my children, but everybody also let me down. Because nobody had the balls to fucking stand up to me or hit me with a 2x4 or my wife reached out to my cousin in Florida instead of my uncles who were around the corner to, beat the fuck out of me. I know Scoopy, such a good boy. He got his little talon caught and fucking it ripped, and he lost his little talon, so I don't know how he's feeling. But we doing all right. My butt is good. Bit of a cough, sleeping in the cold when it starts to get cold, and fucking got me nasally and shit. Oh, I gotta take an antibiotic. Which one's this? This is not. So, thank you very much to him for pushing me and sticking with me and forcing me to really talk and let out my feelings, but my thoughts, emotions, how I work through everything, and having somebody that can bounce stuff off of, who's knowledgeable, doesn't judge. Just a really good guy, has a lot of life experience, Marine, been around the block a time or two. Just a good dude. I might only take half of one of these. I got these for my teeth. I got them in handy. It was Eric that mentioned about being in the smoke shop, which might also be part of the reason why I'm a little just phlegmy. I still train twice. I'm not like sick or anything. It's just fucking mucus. And when the rest of your body's under blanket and you're warm and you're breathing in fucking 40, 50 degree air all night inside of an ice cube van without turning the heat on or anything, it just fucking congested in the head. I wanted to make sure I took a half antibiotic just in case. Rolling's going great. I love being out here. I love training. All these training partners are great. Reminds me of Stoic, which makes sense because they're kind of sister schools. Like Stoic's owned by Leif Babin, Victory's owned by Jocko. They own Echelon Front together, so it makes sense. big shout out to Marcus and Lacey Dewitt over at Stoic, Raul Ramirez, and Ogden and Austin and all those people I used to roll with when I first started over there. Gave me a great base coming in, but after a year and a half and being spotty in training, like when I went to Texas, I would train. I was scared to train up in the Northeast until Steve Johnny, who, North Attleboro, we all went to school with him. But tonight, I really want to talk about, or try to talk about, what I feel is the biggest reason I can't push on from this, why I feel stuck. And it's pretty simple. I love my wife. I may have been engaged to Star. I may have dated a few people. I may have slept with a few people. All after the divorce. Never cheated on my wife. Never yelled at my wife. Never hit my wife. I drank and did cocaine. I was lost. I had so much shit going on, and I'm not making excuses. That's just what it was. I didn't have the tools to deal with my trauma from childhood before I got married, so Christina took the brunt of it. And for that, I truly apologize. And like I've been trying to show her for the last 13 years that I have changed, that I am the man, more of a man and the man that you wanted to marry. And I apologize to her and my family and her parents and my friends and family. It's losing your wife. Like, I drank, I did cocaine, I never fell out of love with my wife, and I think that's one of the biggest things that hurts and pains me going through all this. Like, I'll never fully lose my children. They can push me away all they want when they get older. Like, if they are truly that brainwashed by the circumstances going on, or they harbor the hatred or anything like that. Like, I had all that. I had that resentment towards my dad. And I still, after 8 years, 9 years of not seeing my dad, really hearing from my dad, I still took a trip down to the Carolinas to knock on his door at 19 years old. And I think it's important that people know their father so they know where they come from, whether it's positive or negative. You don't have to hang out with them. You don't have to, but you need to know who they are and where they come from. Because that DNA is part of you, and you're built with part of that, and you need to understand. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. I told my brother once, you're great at swinging a rake and I'm great at swinging a hammer. Landscapers and carpenters were tradesmen because we're second generation off the farm. Mom was the first generation off the farm. My Mimi grew up on the farm. It's in our DNA. And if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't have realistic expectations of where you're going or could go. And there's never a glass ceiling, but at least when you know, like, oh, I'm only 2 generations off the farm, we're not quite the same as people that generations of family haven't been on the farm or from a raw way of living life. Generationally, as you come off the farm and you're more citified or urbanized or whatever, your schooling and all that, DNA will change down the line. That's just my belief of it. But if you don't know where you've been or who you're from, where you're from, then how do you have a clear path on where you want to go and how you're going to get there? Right? If you don't know your starting point and where it came from, then you don't know where to go. Right? Makes sense? Christina, my wife, and it's hard for me to say former spouse, ex. I'll say ex if I'm like being funny or whatever. But I don't like it. I've said it many times. I don't like that word ex. It's never your ex-wife. It's never your ex-husband. Even if you get divorced and you move on and you get remarried or whatever, it's still, that's my first husband. That doesn't change. That's the oath till death do us part. My children, I will always try to work to try to be part of their life and in their life. They can push me away as many times as they want. I will try different ways. Part of all of this is to hopefully, so that when they Google my name, they can see that Dad's out here slinging it. I'm trying to do whatever I can to meet the people I can to create opportunities for myself that will create opportunities for them. Going around the country, making friends with people, meeting people, showing people who I am as a human, the things that I'm capable of and driven to do, just opens up life and opportunity, not only for me, but more importantly, my children, and even their mom and extended family. Christina, my wife, I fell in love with her almost instantly, and it's funny because it's fucked up, actually. When I heard her voice, so I probably told this story before, but I met my wife through my barber. And before I met her through my barber, I actually met her at Baker's Landscaping in Norton. She had bought a house on Lakeside, I think it was, or Lakeshore Road or whatever, down the reservoir. Cute little red cottage house at the end of one of those roads with a U-turn. She had the back lot there, so it was a bigger lot. We did a lot to it. During that time, I was starting to use cocaine and starting to drink. Mom was getting sick, was losing my brother Mike, and suicide, family court, getting our blood brothers, but I wet the bed with them in it, like brothers. Taught me how to shave, taught me, you know what I mean? Like, was a big brother to me, older brother to me. And so was my brother, and I'll use that topic on another conversation, but I still look up to my brother. 13 months younger, like, not much age difference between us. And growing up, he always had more aptitude of, like, social understanding and settings and sports and stuff like that, where I was close-guarded, quiet, fucking, like, introvert, fucking, yeah. Didn't understand why I couldn't. I know I've said this in videos. Didn't understand why I had to peg my pants to be like everybody else, or like I'd pull up my little white socks and my shorts with the red stripes or the blue stripes on. I'm like, this is how you wear your socks, you know what I mean? Like, Daisy Dukes from the Carpenters, the frame is like, hey, cut your jeans up here and fucking nut huggers. This is style. My brother taught me all better of that, and so did my sister. I just never got any, like, I don't know. I just never understood it, so they helped me with that. So my brother was very much also an older brother and a role model for me when it came to certain things and how he handled it and, maneuvered in his life. Played North Attleboro football, was good at making friends and keeping friends, and, it's so blessed to have my brother, blessed to have my sister. She's always been there to help. I've had my issues with both of them, but we're siblings, so, here we are now all getting along, and I know my mom's smiling down in heaven. As far as my wife, Christina, love of my life. Not saying there can't or won't be another one. Just saying I'm not fully over my wife. I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to prove to my wife, is that she married a good man, and she married a good father. She married a shitty husband. But I've learned, and I got buddies that know I'm fucking nuts. Like I tell people, the most normal thing about me is my middle name. It's William, Bill. After my father's name, and his father's name, and his father's name before that. I was supposed to be William Joseph Wombolt IV. My mom said, fuck you, Heath William Wombolt. So the most normal thing about me is my middle name. Don't need it, because Heath Wombolt, I am the only one in the world. Pretty fucking cool. My wife Christina and I met through my barber at Rome's Barber Shop in Plainville. Her name was Barbara. She has a daughter. It was the maid of honor at our wedding. Erin was one of her friends, and I forget. I think it might have been Jen. Was friends with my wife. So, sitting in my barber's chair, I always got stories to tell. Barbara stopped me and said, "Hey, I'm an advocate for my daughter's friend. Her name's Christina. She's looking to be in the dating world and trying to find somebody to be with, and da 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 da. I'd like to give her your number, and maybe you guys can go out sometime and blah blah blah." I said, "Well, why don't you just give me your number and I'll give her a call?" And she said, No, I'll give her your number, and if she calls you, she calls you. If she doesn't, it is what it is." All right, no problem. All right, whatever. Here's my number. Give it to me. I went out to Ohio to watch Mansfield High School beat the fuck out of St. Edwards and lose the game. Literally, the Mansfield Hornets up and down the fucking football field manhandled one of the top high schools in the world, I mean in the country, for football, and it was just a couple long passes that they got burnt on. Just talent, quarterback to receiver talent. Other than that, they physically manhandled the team and played a great game. Cousin Daniel was on that team, and coming back from that trip, my brother and cousin didn't come out with me. Coming back from that trip, there was a message when I got back home. There was a message from my future wife. And I remember hearing a voice on my answering machine and saying to myself, "That's the mother of my children. She's going to be the mother of my children. That's who that is. I hear the mother of my children's voice." And then we talked, and we went out one night. We had a great time. Then the next time we were supposed to go out for a second date, I was hungover, just laying in bed. First time drinking in 6 months after I got my not guilty on an OUI because I wasn't drunk. Thank God my buddy Brian and I only went out with his family, and it wasn't just him and I as we were going out at that time, ripping lines and drinking fucking whiskey and shit. As we used to get fucked up. And now it's more of that night it was with his sister and mom, where it was like, yeah, I'll have a crown of ginger, and we ate dinner, and I wasn't drunk, so I got home, and my brother called me, needed a ride from Medfield. I had no idea where the fuck Medfield was at the time, except for go up 27. And I had to go find him at some house, but my brother knew he could call me anytime, and he was out with my cousin Chad, and they were doing whatever, and I went to go get him, and I got stopped on Route 1. And, lost my license for 6 months because I refused the breathalyzer. Always refuse tests and breathalyzer. Be respectful. Let them put the cuffs on you. Let them bring you in. You don't fight the police officers. You have your day in court, and that's where you win or lose. It's never with the police. You always lose with the police. Fucking telling you guys right the fuck now. And if you're not watching the news and realizing this, and realizing that we have fucking people on both sides that are inciting violence, and it's fucking horseshit. People need to wake up and rise above. All right, this is planned to take all of us. That's a topic for another fucking day. But in meeting my wife that night, she calls me. I called her, and I'm just laying in bed. It was like 4 in the afternoon. I was supposed to pick her up at like 6:30. I was about to get up, go shower. And she asked, "Well, how was you doing? How was your day? What'd you do? How was work?" I just laid in bed all day, kind of hungover from last night. First night I drank in a while, and blah, blah, blah. And good woman. Good fucking woman. Well, I think we're on different paths in our lives, and, maybe we shouldn't go out again. I said, yeah, all right, whatever. Click. And in my head, I was like, be an asshole. Be an asshole. Women like assholes, and I'm not one. And it's funny because I wear the big professional asshole shirt, and people are like, you just held the door for 15 people. You're definitely not an asshole. You just went and did this for somebody. You're definitely not. Why do you wear that shirt if you're not No, I'm a professional asshole. I'm an asshole when I have to be or when I want to be. Other than that, I'm a pretty just bright, lighthearted spirit. I want everybody to be okay. I fix problems. I'm a carpenter. I'm a tradesman. That's what we do. We fix things. She called me back a few days later after going out on another date. And asked if I wanted to go out again, and I was cold. I was an asshole. I was cold. I mean, the first date I had set up, we went to Longhorn in Mansfield. I went and talked to the manager. I said, listen, we don't do reserved tables. I'm like, listen, I'm going to meet my future wife tonight. I got this single red rose. I want the table in the back, away from everybody. I want your best waiter or waitress. This woman's going to be my wife. And slipped him a 20. It was a great date. And then that one hung over. It was supposed to be the second one. She called me back. I thought we really had a great time, and I don't know what happened. I said, it's easy. I know what happened. I told you I was hungover, and you didn't want to do it anymore. Well, could we try it again? I said, yeah. Give me a time and a place, and I'll come pick you up for dinner. And that was it. Well, okay. And click. She gave me time and place, hung up on her. That was it. A few dates later, a couple months later, she made me wait about 4 months till I got in them pants. Which again made her more desirable for me. This woman, it's still to this day. That's why it's so hard for me. I love my children, but their mom was it for me. Like you said, I've tried dating after her. I've been engaged to Star. But I don't think I've made peace with losing my wife. Because again, it wasn't like we were together a long time or I did cocaine. I fucked up. Royally fucked up. Tried to get her to want to move down to Connecticut and take a position at a school down there. Because I knew I was in a bad way and I wanted help from her family to get right. We were going to live in her grandmother's basement, start our family with our daughter, and then our son came. And I wanted to move down there just so I could be around a better support group. Because I knew my family wasn't going to be able to help. But her family, good people, clean people. We all have our shit, but they're good people, good caring people. They believe in the way they want to live their life, and they live it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're good people. Me, different, come from a different world, come from a different cloth. There's no chaos in her world where she grew up with her parents. My life was all chaos all the time. So I grew up, and I still live and thrive when shit's moving around, and that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm used to fucking chaos. I can deal with chaos. It's what I deal with. I'm decent at it, because it's all I know. When everything's smooth and everything's, something's gonna drop. Where's that foot gonna drop? What's gonna happen? Can I, can I prevent this shit? I got sober and I tried to get back with my wife. I tried to work it with her. She didn't want to. I always questioned if she liked me from the beginning or if I was just her only opportunity. She's an attractive woman, a good woman. To me, she could have any man she wants. I don't think she ever really wanted me. I think, actually, in court, it was funny because she gave her smirk. She thinks I turn on the sweetness whenever I want to, but I'm really to the core an evil person, and I'm not. And she knows better. That's why she had that. She couldn't hide her little smirk to where she's like, he can turn on the charm. No, I'm charming all the time, motherfucker. But she's, even when she writes the emails, like I can hear her voice. I know that if given the chance and the law wasn't involved, and we went and talked to somebody who really wanted to show us a way to communicate and who we are to each other, her and I could, at the very least, be best friends for our children, and maybe even be remarried. I know I sound like I'm a fucking idiot and a dreamer and an idealist and all that, but I don't understand how you fall out of love with your wife. I will always love my wife. I will always love the mother of my children. Star, not so much. And I was engaged to Star. We were about to be married. Her, not so much. All these other women I've been with, not so much. My wife is the only one where, like, I would go back with my wife in a heartbeat. I would work on it with her in a heartbeat. And I wish people like Ruth Ann Withers, her former attorney, or Tasha Bazell, or the judge, would hear me when I say these things, to look at her and go, are you hearing what this man is saying? He acknowledged that he fucked up. I acknowledged it in the divorce. I got sober. I've been sober for 13 years from alcohol, 11 years from cocaine, and I've done nothing but try and work my ass off to be the man that my wife wanted to be married to. This trip, I think that is the most profound, hard-hitting realization for me in my emotional life, in my mental life, my health, my inner health, is to know I love my wife. And the struggle I've had over 13 years is how do I mend that fence with her? I wish I never met Star. Through COVID, I was over my wife's house every weekend with my children. I would always wear the same clothes. I would, clean them to make sure they were clean because it was COVID. But I was always over there on the weekends, leave Narragansett, go be with my family. We would do lunch together, we would do dinner together, we would do projects in the yard, and I built stuff for her. And, we were family. The dogs would run together, Snoopy and her dogs, and we were family. We'd fish, we were family. And I wish I'd never let Star get in the way of that, but I didn't realize then, like I do now, that I love my wife, and I might not be with anybody ever again because of the hurt I feel from losing my wife. You don't lose your children. You only lose your children if you quit trying to be in their life, because eventually your children will see what you're doing, and maybe they won't. I don't know, but this is my hope. This is my prayer. This is what I believe will happen in the future, is that my children will come to terms with, oh, this system is fucked. This system totally duped Mom. Mom was justifiably pissed at Dad for fucking everything up, and I've fully admitted that from the beginning. I drank and did cocaine. It was hard for me to say that I wasn't in the wrong, because I was in the wrong. Like I said in that course I have to take every Thursday with the state, 98% my fault, 2% the way she reacted to it. Right? That's... But if my wife could see me now for who I am and who I became, without the court and without custody and without, if we could just be for a moment, if we could just sit and breathe, and she could yell at me, slap me, whatever, choke me out, stab me, I don't really give a fuck. until she lets out that hurt and pain that I caused her. Caused my children, caused myself, caused the people around us. From not dealing with all my childhood traumas and working out my life and figuring out what it really means to be a good person and not just thinking I'm a good person, you know. Drinking will give you some illusions. So will drugs. And I mean, I've never been a bad person, but I've also been a weak coward to live up to the man that I was meant to be. David Goggins. You're going to get to heaven, and you're going to be looking at a man, and he's going to be recognizable, but you're going to be... That's the man that you should have been, could have been. Or is that the man you're going to be that you mean up there? Like, what does that board say? Did I hit all those goals? What the Lord said for me? I believe her and I could show the world what it means to actually care and show love and forgiveness. And we still have a chance to raise our children beautifully together. And I don't look at the law the same way a lot of other people do. I am a free man. I was born, not birthed, and those terminologies matter. And I am a good man, and I try to be a good man. I fail, of course. I am human, but I try. And I try to do better for myself. I try to do better for those around me. I try. No, I sit here and I say I love my wife. Does that mean I won't be with anybody else? But my wife doesn't want me, and the Lord so sees fit, but I need to make things right with my wife. I need her to get to see me as the man I am and not this terrible human being that she believes I am when she knows I'm not. She knew that if I was still in my children's life, that right now, with the apartment that I had and the things that I was doing and being with the Rios and making some real money finally as a carpenter, self-employed, working alone, hitting over 100K the first time, working for myself, she knew when my son told that first attorney, Elizabeth somebody, I believe in Walpole, she closed her practice during this case because the judge, my son wanted to see me a whole lot more. My daughter still wanted to see me, but she had just started becoming a woman. So there were going to be weekends where she may not want to be, depending on where that every other week landed, But my son wanted to be with me a whole lot more. We got to spend a lot of the summer together without my daughter, unfortunately, because she was told that I was body shaming her by trying to appropriately mentor her on how to dress as a young lady. And I had to show my son the same thing, how to dress as a young man. I didn't want my daughter worried about her cleavage. I started worried about her cleavage and her midriff and stuff. I'm like, you're 12. She's going to be 16 in April now. I hope she understood the lesson I was trying to mentor her on then. So you never lose your children, though. That's a choice if you lose your children. My father chose to lose us. And even when he moved up and got a place with my sister, he had another chance with me and my brother. And he failed. He let her down. He hurt my sister. He hurt my nieces and nephew. And that's when I said, fuck this. And I was with Christina at the time when I walked into what I walked into, and I was like, that motherfucker just left my sister high and dry. That motherfucker. And then there was no forgiveness for him. Now, forgiveness for myself. I do forgive my father. It's not easy going through divorce, especially in the 80s and 90s. Because he wasn't there, because he didn't come to sports, because he didn't do these things. No parent-teacher conferences, no practices, no nothing. Just left. Got remarried and left. Didn't pay child support. I still love him. He's my father, but that's what it is. But because he was the way he was, when I got divorced, I didn't want to be that type of father. Financially, I had to get caught up so I could provide more financially. And working at Tree Tech helped me get back in order, and did swing my hammer for 3 years, which I built my life out of. But I lost everything that I ever wanted. I built it all swinging a hammer. I lost it all. Couldn't pick up a hammer for a few years. So much it hurt. So I learned tree work. So when I got Snoopy and got a small dog for the first time for the longevity of life, in case anything happened to me, because I didn't. 45 now. I thought I'd be dead going through my divorce, 13 years ago. But they would have had my dog to be able to at least numb the pain a little bit, was my thinking. Dogs lived a hell of a life, though, now. And he misses Leanne and Wyatt, too. His ears just perked up when I said Leanne and Wyatt. And it's been 3 years. We miss you guys. I miss my wife. I miss Mima and Papa. I miss the family that we could have and should have had and that we could still have. I'm not saying remarried or be together or anything, but cordial friends. Because our children are more important than being bitter and angry at each other. Being brainwashed by systems and politicians and unions and schools and but to show our children that forgiveness matters. They have 2 good, beautiful parents, and we need to get the government out of our lives. She would have lost control if I ended up, if she didn't do what she did and hire Ruth Ann Willis, who was friends with Susan L. Jacobs, and denied me a mediator when she got a new attorney. That never happens. I've talked to many people about it, lawyers, etc. When somebody requests a mediator, it's like 98% of the time they go to a fucking mediator because it helps the court. Because they get to hear the story and pick it apart and ask questions back and forth, and then they submit a report to the judge of what their thoughts are. Always favorable for me. One of the lawyers I went against with a mediator is now a judge, and I handed him his ass in the mediator's room. All of our lawyers. There was another lawyer in the mediator's room against me that had to literally put his hand on the table. Christina, you need to let me do my job right now. Because they had nothing on me. And all I have to do is speak the truth. And the conviction's in my eyes. You'll see it. Like, I'm not a good liar, so I don't do it. Excuse me. And even in like my comedy, it's hard for me to fabricate. I do have a minute for Kill Tony that has to do with the N-word and how I earned it in prison. And I had a 50-year-old white cellie that I had forced to go down to medical because fucking he was a loser and he was going to get me in trouble in prison if I didn't fucking stand up and say, what the fuck do you think you're doing, dude? I literally said, he was asking me for coffee every fucking day. That Keef coffee picture I have, you get Keef product when you're in, or O'Keefe or whatever. Freeze-dried coffee was one of my staples while I was in there for, thank God it was only 6 days. Hey, can I get some of your coffee, man? And I'm free to give my shit away. I don't care. They might see it as a weakness in prison, but typically, even if I didn't know you and somebody said, hey, that guy, he's pretty chill. Why don't you go ask him if he'll give you a cup of coffee? I'm going to give you a cup of coffee. It's a human thing to do. It's not a weakness. But this motherfucker, my cellie, almost dicked me over right away. He asked me if I had any money or whatever so we can go to the runner and get commissary. And I was like, dude, I got to go talk to somebody who I was kind of dating at the time and help me out huge. And I don't know if she's still with me or not, or going to be like, I don't know. I'll see what I can do. by the time I got off the phone, he had already spent $20 of the 25 I was about to get from this woman that I was with, you know. And it's prison, man. 50%. So he spent 10, cost 20. They came to me and said, "Hey, you went under your name with us and blah blah blah." I said, "Oh yeah, really? Okay." Sent them the money, cleared up the 20. But then I called him out in front of fucking everybody in the fucking dorm, in the cell block. And I made sure everybody fucking knew, don't take my fucking kindness for a weakness. I'll fucking throw down with anybody. I don't give a fuck. You beat my ass or not. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to fucking swing, or I'm going to choke you the fuck out or break your arm, or you're going to do it to me. And this is what it is, because this is fucking prison and this is raw shit. And I ain't gonna fucking back down, and not even a basic training. I pick out the biggest fucking guy and I put him on his fucking back. 6'8" Matt Whitekert. Anybody find him or know him, ask him what happened to him. It took me about fucking 20-something seconds to scoop that fucking big old boy up, put him on his ass, and choke him out. And then I picked the second biggest guy. That guy was a little bit small and still big, but he wrapped my arm right fucking back around. That's why this is comfortable. It doesn't really bother me. This one, doesn't go back as far. I sat 45 minutes to an hour like this trying to fight this kid off. Eventually, he let go because I wasn't going to quit. And everybody told him after 45 minutes to let me go because they knew I wasn't going to quit. And that's how you gain respect amongst a group of men. Don't ever fucking back down. Don't quit. Show them who the fuck you are and why you're alive and what you're here for. Right? That's what you do. You don't fucking back down. You don't do anything stupid and get you hurt or dead unless you have to. I just miss my wife. I wish we could have a conversation. I wish we could talk. I wish we could hug. I wish we could, figure this out without lawyers and judges, and that she could really see the me that I've become and I was meant to be, and that I'm still becoming every day. Because it was losing my wife that got me sober. It was losing my wife that broke my heart. I miss my children. I'm always going to miss my children. But my children are my children. Never lose my children. They're from me. They came from here. I planted them in their mom. And when you put a seed into the ground and it comes out of the ground, you don't call it the ground. You call it the seed. My seed fertilized your egg. It's my seed. These are my children. I can never lose my children. They may never talk to me again in their lifetime. I may never be able to have a good relationship with them. I don't know. The hope is there that I will. But no matter what, they're my children. They're mine. They're not some stepfathers if they ever have one. They're not. Always my children. Always their mother's children. Never fucking changes. My dad's dead, my mom's dead, I'm still their child. Right? No, I'm not a kid anymore. My father never lost me. He just chose not to be part of my life or put effort into being part of my life. It was losing my wife. And that's the realization I'm coming across. When I meditate, I'm driving, I'm like, man, Christina, I love you. I love you. You're my wife. I fucked up and I apologize. And how do I make it right? How do I make it better? I think we all get caught up in this game that we're playing called society. And we forget what really matters and what's real and what's not. And, the love I have for my wife is real. And if I didn't get Star involved, who knows what would have happened? Maybe we would be together. My daughter was pissed at me because I think there was a tote that was left at one of the places I lived, and it had all of our wedding albums. And we never had a video of the wedding. Christina has the real nice one. I have a smaller one. But I had like the folders somewhere of all of our wedding, like the ones that we selected through to make the book. Another thing I can't let go of is $90,000 wedding, 150 people that were supposed to be the closest to us. I think there was one person, Russ Raposa. I said, well, my family always said, go talk to your wife whenever I complained. I didn't have the balls. I was a coward. How do you tell your wife that you're a coke addict and you're an alcoholic? And it's fucked up because the night when I went in, I should have hit that pawn slip better. Maybe we'd still, I don't know, all these things that I think of. And I wish I did differently, and I wish I could tell my wife how much I love her and show her in a way that she'd understand that, like, I never fell out of love with my wife. And that's the other realization, like, you can love a lot of people. Like, there's no, like, I don't know, it's fucking weird to me, as I'm a one-woman man at a time. But I get how swingers can be swingers. I get how people can have open relationships, because love is different for everybody. And, sex is different than love. And I don't know. I love my wife. I love Star. You know, I loved a lot of my girlfriends, ex-girlfriends. I love my dad. Like, and he was a piece of shit, but I just love him. You know, like, people go through shit. I don't know how he felt about going through what he went through, losing his children, having another guy step in, and like that. I have to forgive. You know, I have to forgive the judge. I have to forgive the attorneys. And it's not that I'm not upset with them or angry or anything like that. It's, do they really know what they're doing? They know not what they do. Jesus said it when he was nailed to the cross. Forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. And that phrase alone makes you stop. When you say, when this person's hurting you, throwing shade, whatever you want to call it, and you say, listen to yourself for a second. Just say to yourself, they know not what they do. Forgive them. They know not what they do. And in that moment, it allows you to open up and think about who that person is and what it is that they're doing or how it is that it's happening or anything like that. Just what the interaction's really about. Because it's usually never the surface level bullshit. When you're in an argument, when you're in a fight or whatever, it's usually not the surface level. That's usually the outcome of the symptoms. Kind of like alcoholism is a symptom of the problems. Clear up all the traumas from growing up and all the shit I went through, learn how to work through it. Alcoholism isn't a problem because I don't need to drink to fucking feel better or do better in my life or see what I was doing that was wrong and how to fix it. I hope Christina's still watching my page. She's not blocked from here. My former spouse isn't blocked. Her old attorney comes up as a friend suggestion. Ruth Ann, I don't know anything against Ruth. I don't think Ruth Ann Withers knew. Again, she knows not what she does. This is a system that she was brought into after university. University teaches us certain things. Then you get out of university and the people around you are teaching you and showing you what they do. And it's all a corrupt little fucking friendship system. And it's just the way it works. And that's what these people are shown. And every generation and every new people get into it, get a little bit worse because you get away with a little bit more. And before you know it, everybody's fucked. You know, so she knows not what she does. Tasha Bazell knows not what she does. I forgive these people. If they ever called me and needed me for anything, I would be there for them. Same with the judge. I don't carry hate. I can't. I can't. I don't care enough about anything to hate somebody. You hurt a fucking child? I'll fucking kill you. Like, you don't hurt children. That's fucking just bad. Bad, 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 bad. The Bible says a whole lot about what happens when you hurt children. Not in the way that the lawyers and judges are, because again, they don't know what they do. And my children are safe. My daughter's not mentally ill. No matter how much a therapist, who that therapist should be fucking fired. That's an evil person. The therapist is an evil fucking human being. I don't forgive her. Like, there's something wrong with that fucking lady. But the judges and lawyers, I do. Again, you hurt children, there's something wrong with that therapist has hurt children. She hurt my children, I'm sure she's hurt others. They've also hurt my wife. That woman's also hurt my wife, the therapist. You're taking advantage of people. You're an evil fucking scum sucker human being. And fuck you. And, but Judge Susan L. Jacobs knows not what she does. The judges over the restraining order court don't know what they do. Even though we're all in they're all in coercion. And they're all in bed for hurting me and my family. They still don't know what they do, because that's just how they've done it for however many years they've been in it. You know, that's just the sad reality. They don't think what they're doing is wrong, even though it is. So I have to forgive them and give them leniency. My wife, hopefully someday they'll still be rocking chairs on a farmer's porch, whether 2 or 4, as we look out upon our children and, you know, their children and their children before I pass, and go, okay, I did it. I've seen generations, gave them a life, and that's success. And it's not too late. And, yeah, so, Christina, when you watch this, I love you. I love you. Like, please forgive me. I love you. Always have, always will. I knew from the moment I heard your voice, and I'm so sorry that I fucked up, that I let life get the better of me. You were my high through all my lows. The greatest day I ever had, other than our children being born, was being married to you on July 5th of 2009. That's why this past July 4th weekend was so fucking hard for me. We got married on July 5th. I looked at Snoopy twice this past July 4th weekend and thanked him because of his presence. I couldn't kill myself. Lost hope, hurt and pain, missing my wife. She makes me better, even not being together. And again, does that mean her and I will ever be together again? No. But should there be love lost? No. Can we both go find other people and fall in love and be happy and co-mingle and not habitate, but but be a family? Yeah. Why not? I've seen it growing up. I've talked to more and more people where their parents get along even though they've been divorced. They go to all the same events. Nobody's kept from anything. You know, it's life is too short. So I hope Christina sees this. I hope the judge and the lawyers see this. I hope everybody sees it and understands, like, I'm just a man trying to figure it out. Please forgive me. I love you, Christina. I love you, Leanne and Wyatt, me and my papa. judges and lawyers, like I've said it many times, this is the first time or the first video where I said I forgive you guys. But like the email says, if you're not willing to kill me, stop. Just stop. You've already jailed me. You've already persecuted me. You've already hurt my children. You're not getting anywhere. So just stop. This is ridiculous. That is a great class, though, that I'm in on Thursday nights. I will give the state that. I think everybody should go to New Hope, look into the respect course that restraining order violators have to go to. It's kind of sad. Out of 12 people one night, that 4 of us were in there from just telling our children that we love them through either a phone call or a text. But that's the way it is. Trying to come to terms with the fact after 13 years that I lost my wife. That's the hurt and the pain. Miss my children. I'll always have my children. Eventually, we'll see each other again and talk again, and hopefully we're able to mend and be part of each other's lives. Because I won't quit. I'll always be trying. I'll always try to find a way to be part of their lives. Right now is only temporary. But July 4th weekend this year, going on this trip, and the realization that I love my wife, and that's what I'm really fucked up over, and have been fucked over for 13 years. I miss my children. Wish I was with them more, but I miss my wife. And everything to get better is driven so my wife can see it. And she's still not seeing it, and that hurts my heart. That I put in the work and she won't acknowledge, and her family won't acknowledge. I think they were starting to acknowledge it, and then Star came into play. And Star showed up at my door one night, midnight. Her husband was 3 miles away down the road where they were living, and after a party where she was in a pool, she stopped at my house with a wet t-shirt and panties on, and I am only but a man. So she poached me, she used me, she cheated on me, she stole from me, she lied to me, and that's what it is. So do I need to be back with my wife? No, but I do need her forgiveness. Will that eventually go away? Hopefully. Because if I can't be with her, I want to be with somebody. I don't want to die old and alone. So, fuck, we're coming up on an hour already. I hope everything on here came out all right. I want to do this one in the cigar room at Eric's suggestion, but I think that cigar is part of the reason why you're hearing what you're hearing out of me. So, what do you do if you don't drink Jameson or anymore to get rid of a sickness? You see this little mustard thing right here, y'all? Look, that look familiar to anybody? Where you get those? See them all around the country. That hot mustard, that hot Chinese mustard. It kills shit. Clears it up. Helps you breathe. Excuse me. Christina, I love you. Please forgive me. Leanne and Wyatt, Dad loves you. Be good for your mom. Be good for me and my papa. Me and my papa, I love you. Judge Jacobs, Ruth Ann Willis, Tasha Bazell, everybody else with the court. I forgive y'all. It's time to look in the mirrors and do what's right. And have a great night, everybody. Love y'all. Thank y'all. God bless.